Okay, so I want to talk about atheists and theists debating each other. I, I think next time, if anyone listening to this, watching this, actually ever watch these debates, next time you watch it, try thinking of it in this mind frame that they're not really talking to each other, they're talking past each other. You got the atheists saying their views with their language, and the theists saying their views with their language, and they're just basically saying you're wrong because my language that agrees with my language says you're wrong, and vice versa. And they're not actually talking to each other. Here's an example. There's a show called The Atheist Experience. I recommend anyone to watch it. Anyone who wants to understand atheist points of views and even other religious points of views that maybe you don't know, I think it's well worth listening to and understanding it. It's only once a week, and you can find on podcasts. Yeah. Anyhow, so there was a guy he called in. The girl on the atheist show was her name's Tracy Harris, and I think she's a really good debater. She's really good with what she does on that show. I actually think she's the best, if you ask me. Other people say it's the guy Matt Dillahunty. I'll say she's actually the best when it comes to debating tactics. Anyways, so the guy calls in. He says that he starts talking about spiritual things, and she says to him, what are you talking about? What are spiritual things?" Now, if it was me, I would say if you don't understand what spiritual things are, we can't. There's no conversation to be had here. To explain to you what spiritual things are, the best I can do from here now is explain to you what it does for me. So now we can have the conversation. For me personally, when it comes to spiritual things, when I'm feeling spiritual and I'm feeling close to God, that makes me want to not curse, makes me want to dress better, makes me want to act better, treat others better, because this is what I learned from the religion to do for God. And it makes me feel, it gives me a desire to actually want to get there, it gives me incentive, and I think it's a really amazing thing, and it does a lot of good overall for religious people. Um, so I would go through the specifics of what it does, feeling spiritual. So she may never understand what it means to feel spiritual, but I think she can understand what I'm telling her, that these things, even though this may not prove a spiritual thing exists, it doesn't have to prove a spiritual thing exists. It does have to prove that feeling a spiritual thing exists makes me do these things. And then we can have the conversation from her end, how maybe she could come to those same conclusions, and she has come to those same conclusions maybe without it. And then we can have a fruitful, beneficial conversation about that. I'm not trying to say spiritual things do exist here. I'm not promoting anything here. I'm just saying that this is a conversation that's more worthwhile having between atheists and theists, idea type conversations, when you're getting into the meanings of things and what it does. When you're just talking about trying to prove your point, this is right, and then, nope, that's wrong, I have no reason to believe that's right, whatever it is. You're just talking past each other. You're just saying your closed-minded views to each other and not actually having an open-minded, proper conversation to actually really make grounds anywhere. And I guarantee, I'm sure of this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure of this. If you go through episode after episode, they got at least hundreds of episodes. If you go through all their episodes, I don't think you're finding much of a fruitful conversation where you're seeing the religious guy actually getting to a point like I just got to with the spiritual thing. I don't recall ever actually seeing that happening. And yeah, that's what I got to say about this now.